all-time greats in beach volleyball history. Ron Von Hagen, up in his mid-50s now, 62 career wins, and what a great player and a great competitor for many years. Now an inductee into the International Beach Volleyball Hall of Fame here in Clearwater Beach, Florida.
Folks, Ron Von Hagen competed in professional beach volleyball from 1966 through 1972. From 65 to 75, he played in exactly 100 tournaments with a record of 61st, 22 seconds, 8 thirds, 4 fourths, and 5 fifths, along with 1 7th place finish. Ladies and gentlemen, probably one of the greatest volleyball players in the history of the game, please welcome Mr. Ron Von Hagen.
I'd just like to congratulate Ron for a tremendous career and just like to let him know that he's meant a whole lot to me in my career.
Right now I'm a little bit overwhelmed, but I'm very proud to have been selected as part of the International Beach Volleyball Hall of Fame. Also, I'm very glad that the sport is played in different areas aside from California, because now people across the country can see what a great sport this really is. Thank you very much.
Great to see Ron Von Hagen once again, and who could be more deserving, along with Matt Gage, of being the first inductees into the International Beach Volleyball Hall of Fame right here in Clearwater, Florida. And of course, Lynn, the game has changed a great deal since Ron and Matt were playing, and one of the changes that CUERVO Gold has brought onto the scene is round-robin competition. It's really quite simple. The top 8 teams in the world of pro beach volleyball, instead of setting up in a bracket formation, get into a round-robin pool, and they all play one another, and only the toughest and most disciplined can survive.
4 seeded teams were already there, and the first day we had a qualifier to get the other 4. So in the 8 round robin, here are the results we've got. In 8th place, winning just 1 game, was the team of Bill Bouillon and Sean Davis. In 7th place, a disappointing finish for Brent Frohoff and Mike Whitmarsh. They won and John Hanley. That sets the stage for the final. The number 2 finishing team right now, at least, Brian Lewis and Pat Powers. Will they be number 1? Can they knock off Randy Stoklos and St. John Smith?
Brian Lewis, Pat Powers, you've advanced to the finals. A pretty tough go. St. John Smith, Randy Stoklos been resting for a long time. Brian, you're just a young kid. You got enough left?
Yeah, there hasn't been that much sun. Thanks, there's a lot of cloud cover and there's a nice little breeze, so I feel pretty good.
Pat, is it important for you to block well? I mean, that's the key to the success. Brian plays defense, you block the ball well. Smith and Stoklos, pretty good side-out team.
Yeah, I haven't blocked well all tournament. I don't know why. I just haven't been seeing the hitter, watching the ball, getting up. Yesterday, I just didn't have the leg strength. Today, I'm just not watching the hitter. You know, I don't know. It's a fighting dog's a hungry dog, so we'll see what happens. Andrew Smith, 1991.
Brian, this is the first final you've ever been in. Kind of a special moment. You certainly picked a special spot.
It's great. I don't know what to say. I got a great partner, Pat Powers, and little noogie on my forehead. I feel great.
All right, you dig a few, he blocks a few, things will be just fine. Now let's go over to Lynn Shackelford with the number 1 seeds after the round robin, St. John Smith, Randy Stoklos.
Thank you very much, Paul. Well, St. John Smith, a familiar spot for you in the final of another CUERVO Gold Crown.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing with this round-robin play in the top 8 teams. You know, anything can happen, and it went right down to the last game to decide who actually
going to work on him a little.
This kid's no rookie. He's a full-fledged player, and he's coming into play. Pat Powers is an Olympic gold medalist. He's a player that's been here, won this event, and they're going to be an extremely tough team to play against.
All right, good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Beach, Florida. We're ready for the start of the game. St. John Smith to put it in play. Big hit by Pat Powers. Starting off with authority.
That's going to be the key matchup. Pat Powers, one of the best blockers anywhere in the world of volleyball, indoors or out, has got to have a big match one-on-one against his counterpart, Randy Stoklos.
Big Pat stands in at 6'5", whereas his partner, Brian Lewis, only 6'1", but a good server.
In this day and age, 6'1" is a midget out on the tour.
Big block by Pat Powers. So with a big hit and a block, Powers starts off controlling the contest.
Powers and Lewis draw first blood, and it's very important, obviously, that they get out to a good start. Brian Lewis is very young, been on the tour for only 4 years, and getting off to an early lead will give his team lots of confidence against Smith and Stoklos.
His first final, he's got to be a little nervous. All this money on the line, all this prestige.
Not showing it so far.
Another block by Powers. 2-0.
Pat Powers, 1984 Olympic gold medalist, best hitter in the world in 1986, and is so intimidating as a blocker. Watch how far he gets over the net. Up early, and Pat Powers, you talked about Brian Lewis being nervous, excited. Pat Powers is jacked for this final.
But don't expect Stoklos and St. John Smith to panic.
Mistake there, going to St. John Smith. See, Smith with the great ball control and the pokey. You just blocked Randy Stoklos twice. Serve him again.
And we have, in effect, the rally clock here, an 11-minute rally clock. It's also a game to 15.
Innovation last year on the Pro Beach Tour. The rally clock will only run when the ball is in play. If we're tied with time elapsed, we will go into sudden death overtime.
Easy side out by Pat Powers. Has won 2 CUERVO gold crowns way back in '88 with John Stevenson. So he likes to team with the little guys and be the big man at the net. That serve's going to go out. Missed the jump serve.
Serving into the wind, I'll tell you, without the headwind, that would have been outside the banners. But you got to go for it. You have to get Smith and Stoklos out of their excellent ball control. The only way to do it is to serve tough.
We've got touch on the net by Randy Stoklos on the block.
Pretty good read by St. John Smith. Down the line there, you get a good look at Bobby Clark, our head referee for this championship match. Smith playing defense behind the block, but Stoklos into the net for the violation and side out.
Jeff Jordan, by the way, is the umpire down on the other side on the court. George Carey and Butch Martin are calling the lines. There's a big hit by Stoklos. He's going right through the Powers block, and he rubs it off him.
Got stuffed twice trying to go past and over Pat Powers. This time hit the ball straight down on top of the peeper's head.
One of the great confrontations in beach volleyball right here.
Well, look at Pat. Pat's in perfect position to stuff the ball. Stoklos just got lucky with a field goal.
Randy Stoklos can hit as hard as anyone. He can go up pretty high, too.
Well, he and Powers are about the same height, both right at 6'4".
In 2, Pat Powers putting it away before the block of Stoklos can become established.
That's a very, very smart move. Smith and Stoklos are going to work on the smaller Brian Lewis. If Louis can take the first contact, the pass, and pass it right to the net, Powers can go quickly on 2 before the defense of Smith and Stoklos is in position.
No jump serve, hits it to St. John. St. John misses it, chance for a point, and it is. 3-0.
Lewis and Powers off to a great start. Pat Powers blocking, now serving. Brian Lewis taking advantage of the ball control mistake by Smith and Stoklos.
It's got to be great for Brian Lewis that Pat Powers is taking over control here in the early going to kind of relax Brian a little
bit. Work him into the match slowly. Yeah, take all the pressure, score the points on his own. Once again, going back to St. John Smith, I think a mistake after scoring a point. They did serve in the play before, but I think they've had more success going to Randy Stoklos early.
And Stoklos and Smith not seem to be bothered or panicked by the fact that they are not on the scoreboard.
They've been in this situation 100 times. They're just looking to get a point or 2 on the bad side, and then when they come over to the good side, try to rush through for 5 quick ones with their jump serving and defense.
There's the block, and there's the point. 3-1.
They had trouble siding out the beginning of the match because of the good blocking of Pat Powers. But they've been through this 1,000 times. Just remain patient, get into a good side-out rhythm, and eventually this will happen. Brian Lewis makes a mistake. Stoklos makes him pay for it with his first stuff block.
Chance for another one. Dug by Powers. It's over. And Randy puts it away this time. 3-2. The team of Powers and Lewis lead, but their big lead is now diminished.
Blocking again of Randy Stoklos, this time with a soft block. The touch on the block counts. Stokey has to go. Pat Powers with the nice dig, but over the net, right to Stoklos.
And I'm Lynn Shackelford. Welcome back once again to Clearwater Beach, Florida. We've got the team of Brian Lewis and Pat Powers leading Randy Stoklos and St. John Smith 3-2. Stoklos with the serve to Brian Lewis. It's Doug. Chance to tie it right here. And he does. So the patience of Smith and Stoklos pays off.
Patience and confidence. Stoklos with a nice dig, and St. John Smith with the excellent read, telling Stoklos over him. Brian Lewis digging in the angle. Nobody available down the line.
Oh, St. John Smith did not move. He took the big leap and almost got it up.
Lewis and Powers are now on the bad side. Much tougher to receive serve, tougher to play defense, tougher to set the ball. They must stay very tough on this side before the next change. They've got to get a couple of points on the bad side, as did Smith and Stoklos.
Good serve by Brian Lewis, and he is blocked. Randy Stoklos is stuffed, blocked. That's how the name Stuff came to be.
I'll tell you, Peepers, which is one of his nicknames, can put you right in the phone booth. Stoklos makes the cardinal mistake against Pat Powers, trying to hit the ball straight down. Look at Pat. End of the tournament, been playing for a couple of days, and still getting his pits over the net.
Good serve again by Brian Lewis. It's a dig. Nice shot by Randy Stoklos. So the serves of Lewis are awfully tough on that side.
From the bad side, that's a tremendous serve, but Randy Stoklos showing you that he's got the shot-making ability as well as the talent to hit the ball hard.
Come on, Trini!
So Brian Lewis poking it over the block of Stoklos.
See, St. John Smith frustrated with himself. He was caught in the angle defensively against Brian Lewis and did not react once he saw the roll shot down the line. Got to chase.
Good.
Staying on Stoklos almost all the time now.
The set, I think, was over, and Powers just pokes it. That's a point.
I'll tell you, you make a hitting mistake, you get stuffed. You set the ball 6 inches too tight against Pat Powers, you get stuffed once again. Pat Powers has 4 stuffed blocks early in this match.
So they started out 3-0. Smith and Stoklos tied it at 3, and now Powers and Lewis show that they're back in it and in control.
But explain to me this. They score against Stoklos and then serve Smith right out of it. I don't understand that. You got to keep the pressure on the player that you're having good success against.
5-3, the team of Lewis and Powers in front.
Come on.
Nice shot down the line by Brian Lewis, and once again, St. John is not there to run it down. He's stuck in the sand.
Well, I'll tell you, once again, give a lot of credit to Pat Powers. We've talked about his blocking, but he's setting the ball very, very well, and his small partner, Brian Lewis, needs a good set in order to be effective.
And he goes to the bump set, which can sometimes be the most difficult to be accurate 100% of the time.
Especially in these conditions, the wind's still blowing pretty hard off the Gulf, maybe 10 to 12 knots. Dennis Conner could use this kind of breeze. He's getting hammered a little bit in the America's Cup.
This is a good angle right here for Stoklos to be serving. Oh, a dink by Lewis. He might have got it down, but it didn't go over. Easy point for Smith Stoklos. You don't see too many like that at this level.
Unforced error, just a sitter. That's an open slam dunk and just not making the play.
The wind a little bit stronger, I think, than at the start of the game now.
The ball control, though, of Brian Lewis and Pat Powers remains very, very good. And Smith and Stoklos have the best ball control in the game. Brian Lewis has now received 16 serves as compared to only 3 for Pat Powers. So clear the strategy of St. John Smith, Randy Stoklos.
They'd rather block somebody 6'1" than 6'5".
Come on.
Good shot. Could hear St. John Smith over him. Once you set the ball on the beach, your responsibility is to help your partner locate the defender, give him direction where to attack the ball.
Randy Stoklos trying to tie the game at 5 here and make the side change. Oh, he's got it up, though. Brian Lewis got it up. Just bump it over. It's blocked by Powers, but it goes out.
Pat Powers all over it. Stoklos turning the ball down the line, hits the ball off Powers and out of bounds. Great serve down the line. Lewis can only just get a hand on it. The wind blowing so hard. Look at this one getting back on Brian Lewis. He barely can keep the ball in play. Easy point scoring opportunity, and Stoklos smart.
Once again in Clearwater Beach, Florida, I'm Lynn Shackelford along with Paul Sunderland. You're looking at Pat Powers, who has played very well here in the early going. However, they're just tied at 5. Brian Lewis and Pat Powers against Randy Stoklos and St. John Smith.
Powers and Lewis been controlling the ball well. Brian Lewis has been siding out in spite of the wind, and now they are on the good side. They have to score, I think, 4 out of the 5 possible points now to take control of this game. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to do it.
St. John's got it. And hits it down the line as Powers is late to block it.
Brian Lewis is going to the dink much too often.
Right.
And Smith has got him wired right now. Going to the dink, and St. John Smith is all over it. Powers decides way late to block. Smith with a nice shot down the line.
Randy in a hurry to serve. He knows he's got some momentum. 6-5, they lead. Good down the line shot, I guess, through the block in the arms of Randy Stoklos.
That was a big side out. Smith and Stoklos immediately coming out of the side change and getting a point on the board from the bad side. Important that Brian Lewis and Pat Powers settled down with a good side out.
That ball is served out. This is the first of 3 Cuervo Gold Crown events this year. The next one coming up is June 5th and 6th in Boulder, Colorado. And the final, worth $200,000, will be August 21st and 22nd at Main Beach in Santa Cruz. Great sights, all of them, including here.
Stuff blocked by Stoklos. Pat Powers, big hitting mistake. Looking cross court, showing cross court, and then going cross court the entire time. The whole sideline over the block was wide open.
7-5, Smith and Stoklos moving out here.
Watch it!
St. John digs it. Backhand set. It goes over, and so Powers just puts it down. Oh, Randy got a little too fancy.
Well, he's probably the only player on the Pro Beach Tour that has the talent and would have the courage to set that ball with his hands. Spinning dig off the chest of St. John Smith in this wind. Randy stepped in, but then just gapped it over the net for the easy side out to Powers. That's a big play.
It would have been 8-5. Instead, they come back with a chance to score a point here. Lewis and Powers. The ball is out. It's called out. Randy doesn't like it.
Boy, this one right down the line. You could hear Smith asking for the line shot down the line. Bobby Clark not only works on the Pro Beach Tour, he works internationally as well.
He was quick with the call.
Yeah, that ball's out. That's a good call. Good call by the referee up top and the linesman helping him, Butch Martin.
7-6 now, Smith and Stoklos lead by 1. Game to 15, must win by 2. St. John's got it, but Randy has to run around St. John, and he can't. He got a slow start anyway.
Didn't want to step on him, did get a slow start, and the wind just carrying the ball farther and farther away from him. 2 points in a row by Lewis and Powers to get right back in this match. That's a setting mistake by Smith. Stoklos had one earlier. Smith sets the ball too close, and again, Pat Powers, with his blocking and jumping ability, just shuts the door on Randy Stoklos. Pat Powers now with 4 stuff blocks, but has certainly gotten his hands on several others.
A lot of the so-called experts coming in probably thought it would be a rout because Lewis and Powers might be fatigued and maybe nervous. It's a new team playing against a team that's been together for 10 years, but this has been a very close game so far.
The blocking of Pat Powers, the jump serving of Brian Lewis are the equalizers.
Brian Lewis with a jumper. Blocked. St. John's got it.
No one!
Good set.
What a play! The crowd loves it.
3 quick ones for Lewis, and Powers gets them right back in this match, but they go to the bad side, up 8-7. Pretty good set here. Stoklos, maybe a couple of feet off the net, and Pat Powers once again on the spot, and here's the key play, the fake block, and Pat Powers just barely gets his left arm up. Lewis makes the play. Diving step.
Pat Powers just gets the ball in. Good idea. In 2, Powers hits it off the block. That's a point.
See Louis saying, hey, look, big fella, just serve the ball in the court and we'll score.
He says, what is this, a mixed game? You're hitting them all.
It's not that simple, but it looks that way. After missing 4 out of 5, Pat Powers just lobs the ball in. Nice little cut shot. Brian Lewis all over it, and Pat Powers once again goes on 2. He's used it now 4 times.
Lewis gets it up. Oh, great dig attempt by Brian Lewis. It looked like St. John Smith on that one.
We have not seen the last of Brian Lewis. This may be his coming out party. Adam Johnson burst on the scene last year with Pat Powers in Santa Barbara, winning his first tournament of his career, and maybe Pat Powers can take Brian Lewis to his first victory here in Clearwater.
I get the sense, though, in looking at Brian, he's bending his knees a little bit, he's loosening his neck, he's worried about fatigue setting in, and maybe it is.
This cool weather's really helping him.
He's getting served every time, too.
And not only in this match, it's the same scenario in every match they play.
Good
they
point.
played 7 in the round robin. They played the semifinals against Brooke Vanderway and John Hanley, and now they are here in the finals. So this has been going on for 2 days.
And then, when he serves, his partner's expecting a great jump serve out of him, which is also draining. Not real good defense that time by Powers and Lewis, and Randy and St. John put it away easily. But Smith and Stoklos in the final here, down 9-7. What an upset this would be for the team of Powers and Lewis. Powers has been here before, but not Lewis.
Oh, Randy would love to have that one back. Open net. He's fake blocking an awful lot against Brian Lewis right now. Made the right play. Lewis caught the top of the tape. Randy gaffed the dig.
Last time, Pat Powers just put the ball in play because they've missed so many serves. And he does again.
Worked last time.
And it worked this time, 10-7.
Can it be that simple? You serve the ball in the court and score 2 quick ones against the best team on the beach? They missed 4 out of 5. They get 2 in a row. Easy cut shot. Brian Lewis is there. And then Pat catches St. John right with the facial. Good block.
And it works there. 11-7, and give a lot of credit to Brian Lewis. I don't know if it's accidental or not, but those balls are getting up there where Powers can hit them into.
Excellent deflection, and Lewis is on a roll right now. You talked about him being tired. He feels fine just now.
Yep.
Plays the ball perfectly off the top of the block up to his big partner.
This has got to be a thrill for him. Huge crowd, a lot of money at stake, and he's coming alive at his best in the final.
Surprised Smith and Stoklos don't call a timeout. Yeah, they do take one right now. 3 points in a row at this juncture in the match. You got to take a timeout, and they do.
So they are definitely showing a lot of respect, and well, they should, to the team of Lewis and Powers. They lead Lewis and Powers 11-7 here in the final at Clearwater Beach. We'll be back with Pat Powers just putting it in play.
Right there, and hook on.
It's blocked by Powers, but it goes out. So Randy Stoklos and St. John Smith took 2 timeouts, and apparently it paid off.
Well, I'm not sure that I would serve St. John Smith in that situation. They've taken 2 timeouts. He's the best passer in the game, certainly in the modern era, if not ever. I would not serve him in that situation.
There's a chance for a point right here. And it is. They convert. 11-8. Powers and Lewis lead it. Brian Lewis, that was a tough set for him to hit.
St. John Smith listening to his partner. Stoklos jumps way into the angle. St. John covers line. And now St. John working hard from his offside. Chops the ball inside Pat Powers for the big score. And I think now Lewis and Powers going to take a timeout. A real tug of war here over momentum.
You're allowed 4 timeouts per team per game, so strategy coming into play here in the final as Powers and Lewis want to try to break up that momentum if momentum is 1 point. And with all the timeouts taking place, I think Randy and St. John say, hey, let's keep Loose out here.
Well, they look like they're back in control. Just a day at the beach, practicing as they would during the week.
Anybody from Indiana out here today?
All the players competing in this CUERVO Gold Crown 92 are members of the Association of Volleyball Professionals, founded in 1983. The AVP is the sanctioning body of the 2-man pro beach volleyball in the United States. Hope you're enjoying the action here. Lynn Shackelford along with Paul Sunderland. Just under 4 minutes left in the rally clock. 11-8 is the score. Powers and Lewis leading as they get a side out here over the team of Randy Stoklos and St. John Smith. They came in, Stoklos and Smith, as the number 2 seeded team. Adam Johnson and Kent Steffes were the number 1 seeded team. They finished 4th.
Lewis and Powers have been strong in spurts. They've been able to score from the bad side. When they serve the ball in the court, they've been the best team in the tournament. And when they miss the serves, they're taking pressure off Smith and Stoklos. But they are on the bad side. They have assured themselves of an 11-9 side change back to the good side. That's a very important factor.
No, ready.
And that's an easy point right there for Smith and Stoklos. So they go to the good side. The good side, if you're just joining beach volleyball, is when you're serving into the wind. And they like that, even though they trail 11-9 here in Clearwater. Left in the rally clock, 3 minutes and 43 seconds. 11-9. Powers and Lewis up on top. And Pat Powers, you can see why they're on top with the hard-hitting Pat Powers like that.
Brian Lewis been getting most of the serves, and you see exactly why. PP with detonation down the line.
This is the first of 3 CUERVO Gold Crown titles to be given out this year. The next 2 will be in Boulder, Colorado, and Santa Cruz, California. We are in Clearwater Beach, Florida.
Angle.
That's a good shot. Deep corner, high cross court. No chance for Lewis.
The winning team here today will split $60,000. The difference between first and second place, $44,000 for the team.
Nice chop again.
Ooh, he has a great cut shot, doesn't he?
Well,
Good
you better when you play with Pat Powers, because he's setting the ball all over the park right now. Pat's really got to concentrate for about another 15 minutes, set the ball well, block well, and he and his partner Brian Lewis can win this tournament.
As you know, Paul, bump setting is, you do it in streaks. You do it well in streaks and badly in streaks.
Well, the key to that is when you bump set the ball, you're just contacting the ball 3 feet lower than when you contact the ball with your hands, and the wind just has much more time to affect the location.
Good.
Nice side out by St. John Smith.
Real key here, I think, Lynn. Brian Lewis and Pat Powers are on the good side. You can see the flags blowing behind St. John Smith. We've got maybe 12 to 15 knot winds right now. They have the advantage. They must score, in my opinion, 3 points at least on the good side in order to have a solid chance to win this tournament. Obviously, if they score 4, they're the champions.
Yeah, in other words, go to championship point to the bad side.
Exactly. They'll have a 14-11 advantage. Less than that, I think Smith and Stoklos then become the favorites.
Randy knew he had to hit it deep, and he hit it too far.
That's a big mistake. Going for it could have been a point-scoring opportunity for Smith and Stoklos.
In the match to get into the finals, Powers and Lewis defeated Brooke Bandaway and John Hanley, and they look tired. They don't look tired now. St. John Smith down the line. That's just like, he could do that in his sleep. It's automatic.
Yeah, that's money in the bank. Especially in these wind conditions, I would be putting the jump serve. I think Powers is too tired to jump serve right now, so he's staying down. But Brian Lewis has got to hit the good, hard jump serve at Randy Stoklos.
Back set.
There's
nice
one.
cut shot. St. John Smith mixing it up. They had the shot down the line, and St. John knew it. He cut it.
1 point from the bad side.
So that guarantees there'll be one more side change. Maybe. Yes. Almost guarantees.
That's not a problem. That's not a problem. He's just telling his partner what's happening. That's not a problem, though. Here we go. Relax.
I think Brian Lewis a little unnerved by the good communication between St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos.
And Bobby quickly sets him straight that they can do that.
Come on!
Oh, St. John just stumbled there in the sand.
St. John was all over it, but Randy Stoklos, just got a little bit too much of the ball, almost slowed it down in front of him. Randy Stoklos doesn't touch that ball. St. John's all over the line shot.
Brian Lewis smoothing the sand out, getting his approach ready for the big jump serve.
Wants a smooth runway.
The block by Powers, and the crowd likes that.
Tough jump serve against Randy Stoklos. He passes the ball 12, 13 feet off the net. He's got to take his eye off Powers in order to focus on the set. That's just enough time for PP to make the big move out to the line for the stuff.
And they inched closer to victory. 12-10, Lewis and Powers in front.
Oh,
it's out.
Randy hit it out.
Uncommon error at this point in the match for Stoklos, and we go to 13-10.
Brian Lewis, after the tough jump serve once again, Stoklos trying to cut it too fine. Smith and Stoklos have taken a timeout. We'll be back.
Back in Clearwater Beach, Florida, Brian Lewis with a jump serve in the 13-10 lead. Lots of time left on the rally clock, and a much-needed side out by the team of Randy Stoklos and St. John Smith.
Smith and Stoklos took not one, but 2 timeouts. They're back-to-back. They're on the bad side. They know this is the match right here. They have to keep Lewis and Powers at 13. They're looking for the 13-12 side change for Smith and Stoklos to come over to the good side.
Nice shot by Brian Lewis. You're right. In the final, this young man is not going to be tired at this point.
He's only 24. He plays in the heat of the day all week long. He's now received 34 serves overall. Pat Powers only 9. Pat Powers with 6 stuff blocks.
And they go to championship point with that one, and Powers is smiling and laughing.
1 point away from Pat Powers' 3rd CUERVO championship and Brian Lewis's 1st. But this match is not over.
14-10 is the score. Powers will just put it in. What's the call? The call is it's blocked down on Smith and Stoklos' side, and you can tell who won it.
Pat Powers with the stuff block right back on Randy Stoklos. They're kicking sand now, but they're going to be kicking dollar bills in a few minutes.
That's the way the match started, with a Pat Powers block, and it's appropriate that that's the way it ends. And the fireworks begin here at Clearwater Beach, Florida. There's the block, stuff block straight down by Powers. He called it all the way. It happened so fast, it needed a moment for all of us to realize what had happened. And they win it. Pat Powers is third. Brian Lewis, his first ever pro beach volleyball win.
With the champions in Clearwater, Brian Lewis, the first of your career, not the last. And, well, Pat, you've been around forever, so we'll get back down to Brian Lewis first. A lot of wind out here today. Did you think you had to finish it on that last side change? Were you looking to finish the match out quickly?
Actually, we were hoping for a 14-11 switch, and just it came out 15-10. Unbelievable. Pat just stuffed the ball. Inverted. I didn't even see it land.
Neither did Randy Stoklos. Pat, it's been since 1982. You won a couple of these with John Stevenson. Have you found yourself another young partner?
I think so. I thought Brian has got one of the strongest arms, if not the strongest arm in the beach right now. He's real good. I mean, I remember when John and I, when we won it back in 1988, I didn't think we were going to win. And today it was the same thing. And we went out, Smith Stoklos, you know, the best all-time team. You know, absolutely 100% respect for him. And we won, and I couldn't believe it. It was like when I blocked that ball, I was looking around, I thought I was in a dream for a second, but
I still am.
Hey, you know.
Sweet and profitable surprise. Were you guys exhausted? I mean, Brian, you've been getting served all day for a couple of days. You have to hit power sets. That's a lot of work.
That's the key to our game. They can't line up and block me. Also, the wind and the cloud covers helped out a lot. It wasn't excruciating heat. It was in our favor.
All right, it cooled off out here. Brian Lewis and Pat Powers got hot enough to win $60,000. Back up to you, Shaq.
Once again, to recap here, the finalists in the CUERVO Gold Crown. In 8th place, Bill Bouillon and Sean Davis. In 7th, Brent Frohoff and Mike Whitmarsh. Finishing 6th, Eric Wirtz and Larry Muir. Tim Hovland and Mike Dodd were 5th place. In 4th, they were seeded number 1, a disappointing finish for them, Adam Johnson and Kent Steffes. In 3rd, a good finish for Brooke Vandewey and John Hanley. In 2nd, Randy Stoklos and St. John Smith. And once again, our champions, Brian Lewis and Pat Powers. So this is the first of 3 CUERVO Gold Crowns.